3 a.m., metrics screaming, team exhausted. Ronan Massez realized that chasing targets is unsustainable. Today, the shift that saved his teams and his results. Welcome, everyone, to the Neuro Leadership Edge. Brain science for bold leaders ready to master their mind and own their voice. I'm your host, Claire Hayek, neuro leadership expert and founder of Mind, Soul, Purpose Team Building. Welcome back. Well, my guest today, Ronan Massez, let me tell you a little bit about him. He's a human-centric marketing strategist and consultant who helps brands shift from product-centric tactics to purpose-driven growth. Drawing on 2 decades of experience leading digital transformation across Latin America, he blends empathy, creativity, and AI to craft experiences that resonate with real human needs. Now, by the end of this episode, you'll have a new science-backed way to steady yourself under pressure, a fast tell for burnout, and a simple team check-in you can pretty much use this week. Ronan, welcome to the show. Welcome to this podcast. We're very excited to have you. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here to share a bit of knowledge and the things we know as a leader. So thanks for the invitation. Glad to be here and let's
Lovely having you. So Ronan, I teased the experience, I believe, pretty well. I am just curious to learn more. So let's start at the breaking point. What happened? What's that pressure-filled moment that literally fundamentally changed everything for you? Tell us a bit more.
Yeah, I think it's something that we face all, like as leaders, we have a lot of pressure. Since COVID, we had to pursue results all day long, and we are just thinking about that all the time, And sometimes it can be hard because we forget that we are also humans, and we have life, we have personal lives, we have a lot of stuff going on. And at some point, we just forget about that. We're just like all about the work.
What happened that day when you realized what was happening at 3 a.m.? Let's go straight to that moment.
Yeah. I believe it's not even a day, it's a period of time, and it's even worse because it's not about one day that you face that you are going down. It's you're going down and even more every day, and still until you realize that you can't no more, And for me, it has been that, it has been like during a lot of times struggles about sleeping, a lot of stress. Even one time I got sick about just because of the work, So it's time of your life that you realize that it isn't worth it, to live this kind of pressure. And I believe that's what we leave a lot of people inside the organization because we have a family to provide. We have like a lot of maybe also like ambitions, personal ambitions to grow inside companies and everything.
Yeah.
And we tend to forget about that. So for me, it has been that I couldn't sleep. I suffered a lot of stress. I was like having disease. I was getting sick all the time. Even got asthma at some point, So I was like, what is happening to me? What is wrong, And it was because I was working too hard, too much, putting us through a lot of pressure. And this is when you realize that your mind is controlling also the body, and that it's and only a good answer is when your body is saying stop. You cannot go more in this direction. And that's the things that are interesting and that make you realize that we need a shift. We need to train ourselves to be more respectful of our mind and our
body is a very powerful thing, that's for sure. And at that point, I'm assuming your body was screaming and yelling and going alarm. It's unfortunate. A lot of us go through that, but it's the nature of work. And I think, more and more people are realizing how important to have that work-life balance. And I'm so happy that there's a conversation happening right now. And this is why one of the reasons I really wanted you on the show, Ronan, because you turned it around. But before we talk about how you turned it around and give us some hope for people out there listening that probably feeling the pressure, I want to quickly talk to you about a quick tool.
Sure.
How to stop the rush, right? So it's called Label and Zoom. So when the pressure is building up, you can do two quick moves, everyone listening. So the first thing you could do is label what you feel. It's as simple as that. So example, I feel stress and my body is shaking, or I feel stress and I feel it in my chest. Like, go back to the body. What that does, naming what's happening, takes it away. So it reduces the reactivity in the amygdala, where all the, the high emotions and the stress happens, and brings it to the prefrontal cortex, which is our CEO, the brain CEO. So you're really back online. You're not in your emotion, and your body is not going at a gazillion miles an hour with all its emotions and the stress level. The second thing is zoom out. So label, then zoom out with the third person self-talk. It's kind of zooming out and looking at yourself and going, okay, I'm going to be talking to myself now. Okay, Claire, what matters right now? What's important right now? So when you do the self-distancing, that creates psychological space and a better choice. So you zoom out of the situations instead of being completely embedded in it. Just take 60 seconds, and you're not even breathing, like, and you're doing any specific breath work or anything like that. If you want to put in breath work in there and do like an exhale to help you, great. But just the labeling and zooming out does tremendous help. So hopefully this really helps you. Anyone listening right now, hopefully this tip helps you. So Ronan, back to you.
And if I just
Yes,
might add that, if what is important also is to talk about not talking as a first person in terms of I feel stress. It's also very important to dissociate yourself
exactly.
from the thing. So I just like to add that for the people that are listening. I guess it's a great tip also on adding on what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. So the first thing I said is label what you feel. And I really appreciate you stressing the word feel, because sometimes we associate with it. And that is so important, Ronan. Thank you for stressing that out. So remember what Ronan said and what I said. I feel, right? We're not judging. We're not completely owning, I am this, I am that. No, we just want to label, right? So let's put a sticker on it. So that really helps. Very good observation, Ron, by the way. I love that. So let's move on. So what was that mindset shift that you had to do, or that lesson that really helped you show up differently? Tell us a bit more.
I guess it has been taking ourselves in consideration, and that's the shift that led me to what I'm doing now. And the title we put out below my name, that is Human-Centric Growth Leader or whatever, because it's really that facing this kind of situation, I realized that we needed to change, not only for myself only, but like the society has to
Right.
change, and we have to reconsider everything we were doing. Like from not only the way we work, but the way we think, the way we act on
Right.
everything. And that's really why I wanted to focus my days, my work, and my contribution to the world at some point, focusing on that, on the human-centric, because when we start to put inside the organization the human really in the center of the
Yeah.
conversation, everything change, because we are not like we are focusing on results, but through the humans. And if the human are not feeling great, if we have too much stress, if we are not comfortable, it's not a good result. And that's the reason why we have to reframe everything we do, putting also human inside like the organization and the KPIs and everything, because it's part. If you
Right.
have results in short term, it's great. But at the end, you have to also think about long term for the
Right. So tell
companies
me a little bit
and
about,
putting the human.
I'm sorry. Tell
Go
me a
on.
little bit about prove your worth.
Sure.
Tell
And
us
about
a little bit more about
and exactly. So the thing I've done afterwards, like in terms of liberating the potential of the people inside the organization, have been the prove your worth way of thinking. Like it's putting the human at the center again. It's making sure that your team and your people you're working with are really showing up with what they are good at. So what it's called? It's called also like the unfair advantage. And the unfair advantage is something that you are specifically good at, that you have to work and you are passionate about. Like it's at some point maybe the ikigai of a lot of people. But it's the thing that you are really fond of. And when you find that in your associate, in your people, inside your company, it's when they bring all the light that they are. For example, for me, I'm very creative. That's something like I believe. So when they put me to do creative work, I excel because it's something that I'm good at, and I feel good when I'm doing it. But if you are putting me to something very administrative, I'm going to fail. So the
Right.
thing I
So,
was doing
yeah.
with my team is just that, finding their own skill, their skills that they are very particular good at, and they like about themselves.
Okay. So it's really all about, instead of them proving their worth, to summarize here, would be to encourage or find their worth, right? And highlight their worth as opposed to prove it, right? So
Exactly.
my understanding is correct. I love that. I love that. I think it's extremely important to do that and really make sure that we take the time to do it, as opposed to somebody have to prove themselves to you. I think a lot of organizations, as I mentioned, are shifting away from that stress of having to prove yourself. But you'll be surprised of how many some organizations are still doing it, which is even more relevant to the conversation today. So, Ronan, what do you think more leaders understood when they're leading through complexity, change, disruption, especially what's happening nowadays?
Yeah, I believe that's the thing, like complexity and everything that is happening is because we didn't understand one thing, that we have to put again the human at the center. Once we do that, once we understand that change is going to happen every day, that it's going to be like a natural thing that is going to happen, but we learn and we integrate that learning really as human again, it's going to shift everything, because we don't see afterwards the complexity as a challenge but an opportunity. So when you try really to change, to reframe your way of thinking as a human leader, everything change. And that's the thing that is very important, in my opinion, that we miss. We are used to lead as a corporate executive, like we are used
Absolutely.
to lead through results, or everything. But
Yeah.
we didn't understand, like we have to flow at some point. Maybe I don't want to
Absolutely.
go to like the
And so,
cliche word, but
yes. And so, Ronan, so as far as your story, so you were close to burnout and you changed things. So what was the one thing you changed in your life that you do right now that could help a listener out there, maybe feeling that pressure, feeling that close to burnout? What would be one thing they could start doing today to help them? We talked about label
yes.
and zoom out, but from your own story, what was the first thing you did when you realized all this and you wanted to shift? What is that little change you did?
Mhm.
Just give us
For
one.
me, it's like self-awareness. Listen to yourself, because most of the time the thing that we do is we try to fit inside society, inside the work, and we believe that we are that most of the people, we believe that I am my title, I am defined by what I'm doing and everything. But no, we are individual, and we have first to understand who we are, who we are standing for, what are our values, what the thing that we want to do and everything. It seems basic, but it's nobody does that at the end. Nobody really took this step back, reflecting on ourselves, reflecting on what we stand for and what we want to do really. So we just go for it, but we didn't stop doing this self-awareness assessment, just asking ourselves, am I doing what I really want to do,
Mhm.
what I really represent and wanted to do? And once you really have the courage, because it takes courage to do that, when you have the courage to face that and take the steps that are leading towards the real
Mhm.
person you want to be,
I mean,
everything
you're
change.
speaking my language, Ronan. I love the fact that you're saying this and it's coming from you, from your own experience. It's what I'm always talking about: self-awareness, mindfulness, mental fitness. That's what it's all about. It's really putting yourself first. This is not about being selfish. This is about putting yourself first, because if you're not taking care of yourself first, you cannot take care and manage your environment as a leader. you come first, because you need to be grounded, you need to be mindful, you need to make sure that you are saving your energy and making sure you show up at your top level, not so you can be top performant and perform, go, but being at the top of your game. That means you are being completely grounded, you are leading with clarity, you are calm no matter what's been thrown at you. And once you have that solid anchor, then you are literally invincible. And this is what mental fitness is about. And this is what I'm always preaching and talking about. That's what I do. So,
And he wasn't prepared. He wasn't prepared. It's just like for people to know that we didn't prepare.
I'm sorry,
that.
say that again.
No, I was saying that we didn't prepare to be so fully aligned.
I know we didn't. No, we didn't even talk about that. But it's just I knew we had the same values, and that's why you're on the show. So this is great. Let me quickly here move on to our listener challenge. I really want to share with you a little challenge like I always do. It should be on the screen now. So this week, choose one meeting, okay? One meeting. Before the meeting, run like a 90-second check-in. If you don't mind muting your mic, Ronan, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. So for this week, before one meeting, run a 90-second check-in. So the 2 check-in is the color check and the 1 line. The color check is red, yellow, or green. So whether you're in with your team or with just within yourself before the meeting, you can do a little check-in and label. Am I feeling I'm in the red, I'm in the yellow, or I'm in the green? Red, we're talking about fight or flight, high pressure. I'm really feeling the stress. Yellow is like I'm feeling a little bit of pressure, but I got it down. I'm not freaking out here. Green, I'm just fully in flow, fully grounded. I know exactly what's happening and I'm breathing. Okay, so do the color check-in, red, yellow, green, and then choose just one line. Okay, say one line, one thing that would make today 10% easier is, and fill in the blank. So again, you can do this by yourself before a meeting, or you can do it with your teammates. So again, one line, one thing that would make today 10% easier is, and then take all that and act on it. So self-awareness, which also Ronan mentioned, and then the one thing that will make everything 10% easier, or make me 10% happier, or would just make me happier is, and just act on it. It could be something very small. It doesn't have to be anything big. So write this down, observe what happens, and please do this in the next 48 hours. It usually helps just to take action and share what changed with hashtag lead human, and tag me, Claire Hayek, on LinkedIn or any other social media. You can also find Ronan and tag him as well, Ronan Massez. We are approaching the rapid fire. So I'm gonna ask you 3 questions, and
Sure.
remember the very quick answers. You got 10 to 15 seconds roughly to answer them. No stress here, but just to keep it moving. So
Sure.
ready?
Ready.
All right, let's go. So first sign your team is burning out.
I feel them stress, and I see like hard faces. I don't even say that in English, but like I see their faces. Like for me, the emotional body response,
body language.
Body language is
body
very
language.
clear. Yeah.
Okay, great. That's so. First thing is observing. One ritual you won't skip in a high pressure week. What is the one thing that you do to help you when you're highly stressed in a high pressure week?
Exercise.
What's your favorite exercise?
To release. Running.
Go for a jog or take a swim. Yay, love it.
Exactly.
The third one, a book or a podcast that rewired how you feel. How you lead. I'm going to do this again. Book or podcast that rewired how you lead.
For me, it starts with the why, the Simon Sinek. I guess it has always been like a desk book, because it's really framing what we are discussing also, and it's all about purpose and everything. So it's for me that's
a great book. And speaking of books, everyone listening, Ronan's book Human-Centric Marketing is coming this year, It'll be published in Spanish, and it's frameworks and field stories to scale results without scaling burnout. We're all really looking forward to it. Ronan, I'm really excited about sharing your book with us. So if you like this episode, please subscribe to the Neuro Leadership Edge. You can see a QR code here right on the right-hand side where you see Ronan. So please scan it. You have all the links. If you want some brain-based tools, whether it's the podcast or the newsletter, we do deep dives. So please do check that QR code and follow the links and get those resources. They're free. I love giving things away. So again, Ronan, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And look out for that book, everyone. And remember, lead boldly, stay human, and turn every challenge into a gift, because they are gifts. See you all next week.